Coming up on Mountain News this morning, there were lots of happy faces at the Salvation Army in Lexington yesterday. And the students were making final preparations for Thanksgiving dinner when they smelled smoke, which turns out to be a drug treatment center in flames. Plus, concerns are mounting inside some Kentucky jails around the safety of those involved in inmate transfers.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 5:29 on November 29th. I'm Madison Pergram, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning. So if you're just waking up, still in that food coma from Thanksgiving, it's Black Friday. There's a lot of shopping deals out there. Let's go to Brandon Robinson. Brandon, there is going to be a lot of people out there shopping. Will's live here in a few minutes from the mall. So what's the weather going to be like today?
Listen, I have a more important question before we get to the weather forecast. What's Will going to buy us today at the mall?
We're about to ask.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know that. And Will, I know you can hear me, so I want to know. That's the burning question this morning. But as we talk about the weather, you'll see a few clouds around this morning, especially across parts of the southern half of the area, which areas that did not have clouds yesterday morning, and the northern half of the area, which did have clouds yesterday morning. So kind of a similar setup to yesterday with sunshine and mixed with clouds there. Temperatures across the board dropping a little faster now. They're in the 30s in Pikeville, 33 there, 35 Jackson, Harlan, 40 in Middlesboro though, 37 in London, 36 in Somerset, and 36 also in Moorhead. Your almanac today, 47 is the forecast time. We average 51. That 47 will depend on the cloud cover. 72 is the record set back on this day in 1991. We'll talk about the extended forecast, which is busy for the weekend coming up here in a little bit. Madison.
Thank you, Brandon. Well, stores are preparing for waves of Black Friday shoppers, and there's more to that preparation than meets the eye. WYMT's Will Puckett joins us live in Middlesboro with more on what exactly stores do to prepare for the biggest day of the year. Will, you heard us. What are you buying us today?
Well, to quote one of the greatest movies of all time in Caddyshack, you two will get nothing and like it. I'm just kidding, of course. I usually wait until my Cyber Monday to get my shopping done. Okay. Now, Brandon said that it should be a pretty nice day to shop. It's not too cold out here, and you can't see that behind me, but I'll show you. People are starting to gather outside the Belk door. Earlier, I told you that Black Friday can make or break stores' years. Well, at 7 o'clock, the doors will open to this building. Shopping carts will move about those stores and will be full of deals and Christmas gifts. Stores, again, prepare all year round for Black Friday.
A lot of the operations part of getting things out, we actually have stuff on standby to kind of refill and everything, just keeping up with the pace.
So right here at Belk, there's already starting to be a little bit of crowd gathering. A lot of cars have been starting to roll in, so I'm sure JCPenney will have some people waiting. Both stores are expected to have more deals on top of the deals that they had yesterday on Thanksgiving while they were open. Again, I'm not going to take advantage of these deals today because, like Brandon said earlier, I'm just like him. I'm not a crowd guy, so I'll stand behind my keyboard and do a little bit of Cyber Monday shopping. But again, Black Friday, it's going to be a nice day here in Middlesboro. They start at 7. We'll be back to me 2 more times, Madison, but for now, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Will. Well, a 6-year tradition, volunteers from across Perry County gather at Perry Central to pack up Thanksgiving meals to those in need. This year, they gave about 1,000 meals. WYMT's Emily Bennett talked to students who helped pack up the boxes.
Giving thanks by giving to those less fortunate.
Preparing the food, boxing it up,
delivering it,
making deliveries.
People from across Perry County gathered.
A lot of work.
To box up 1,000 meals for those in need.
It's a great way to start off Thanksgiving morning, to just give back, give to the community, and Perry County Schools is rocking it today.
Students and staff from every school in the county volunteered.
Being able to take time out of our morning to give back to them makes a difference in the whole day.
This is Samantha Turner's 2nd year volunteering.
We like to just be out in the community and help those who can't help themselves.
She says the preparation process has been extensive.
They've actually been in for the last 2 days preparing food and just getting everything set up to come in. And we had some here as early as like 5:30 this morning.
And organization was key.
Everybody's working on something different.
And one thing was on Brady Adams' mind.
I'm just grateful that we get to come out and help with that and give them an opportunity to have Thanksgiving like we all do here. So,
doing their best to make sure no one was left hungry on Thanksgiving. In Perry County, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, the food boxes included all the classic Thanksgiving foods, and the meals were delivered across the county from Leatherwood to Buckhorn. And two Louisville brothers, Alex and Tommy Gift, lost their mother to cancer 9 years ago, and Thanksgiving was her favorite holiday. So in her memory, the brothers did this. They ordered a catered meal, turkey stuffing, all the trimmings, and even dessert for the patients at U of L's bone marrow transplant unit. There are patients who are either too ill or weak too immune compromised to leave the hospital and be with their families. They brought enough food for about 80 people, so there was plenty for visitors and hospital staff too.
My brother and I lost our mom to a 28-year fight with breast cancer in 2010. Thanksgiving was her favorite holiday, and so we wanted to do something that helps strangers that are fighting cancer on her favorite holiday.
Tommy Gift and his brother Alex set up the Mary Jane Gift Quality of Life Fund at the James Graham Brown Cancer Center in memory of their mother. They wanted to help families who are going through the same thing they went through. And there were lots of happy faces at the Salvation Army in Lexington yesterday. Some 800 people enjoyed a Thanksgiving meal. It is a tradition that's been going on for years, and it's also a meal that includes familiar faces in Kentucky. This year, Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes, along with Coach Cal, helped to serve these meals, and some of his players came along too.
A lot of people aren't as fortunate as us, and for us to be able to come here and help out all these people, it's just really good.
Volunteers also delivered food to the elderly and people who were not able to leave their homes. And early yesterday morning, Chad's Hope, a drug treatment center, caught fire, and the Manchester Fire Department responded around 1 a.m. The students were making final preparations for Thanksgiving dinner when they smelled smoke. The fire started in the attic around the chimney. The fire was contained to one small area, and students were moved to a nearby hotel as a safety precaution.
We got permission from the fire marshal to go to the building and retrieve, 4 or 5 days worth of clothing and textbooks and Bibles and that kind of thing, so we can, if necessary, we can stay away for a few days.
Steve May said several local churches and organizations have offered food, money, and supplies, and the students are being housed by the Manchester Baptist Church. And a meal for those in Laurel County who keep everyone in the community safe. The Wolf family has given back for years, and this year they decided to host a meal for first responders and their families on Thanksgiving. But they did not do this on their own. Texas Roadhouse, Walmart, Save-A-Lot, Wendy's, and others donated food and utensils. Kenneth Wolf said many have told him what he is doing is noble, but he sees it another way.
I just think giving back to them is not noble. It's the right thing to do. It's what the Lord would want us to do.
Wolf said he went to all the first responders in the county and found out about 50 would be working on Thanksgiving, so he prepared enough food for 150 people, enough for their families too. And a gas leak is now under control in Wolf County. Troublesome Creek Gas Company cut off service on Tuesday. They think the leak was caused by a recent home explosion in Campton, and 3 people were killed in the blast: Philip, Suanne, and Albert Vanderpool. A GoFundMe page has been set up for the family, and investigators have not released a cause for the initial explosion. And concerns are mounting inside some Kentucky jails, and one reoccurring problem is inmate transfers, a practice that jailers say puts both the inmate and staff at risk. Jails across the state of Kentucky operate differently and have different levels of care and capabilities. One thing many of them do have in common is that they are operating at or over capacity. Often compounding to that issue is when an inmate is transferred to a facility that really cannot take on the extra burden.
They're not checking to see, do they have the capacity to hold the prisoner? Do they have the ability to provide the medical staff to the prisoner? And with that, sometimes inmates wind up in situations they shouldn't be in.
A new pre-filed bill in Frankfort aims to change that. This bill does not take that authority away from judges, but it aims to open up a line of communication with those directly impacted by these decisions. We'll have more details on that in our 6 o'clock hour right here on Mountain News This Morning. And a new study suggests that women with high-density breast tissue could benefit from MRI screening between regular mammogram checkups. Roughly 1 in 10 women and half of U.S. women over 40 are considered to have extremely dense breast tissue, which poses a higher risk of breast cancer. It makes it harder to detect the cancer using a traditional mammogram. The new study was published in the New England Journal of Medicine on Wednesday. It examined women with high-density breast tissue who had normal mammography results. It found that using supplementary MRI screenings in these patients resulted in fewer interval cancers than using mammography alone. And a Southern California woman is giving fellow breast cancer survivors around the world a reason to be thankful. The retired textile artist knits bra inserts designed for women undergoing mastectomies. Chris Martinez has her story.
Every day, Pat Anderson sits in her favorite chair and does what she does best.
I've been knitting since I was about 8.
Now 87, she's using her knitting skills to help survivors of breast cancer, just like her.
I was diagnosed in the summer of 2006. Because of the location of the tumor, I needed to have a mastectomy.
During her recovery, Pat tried a number of makeshift prosthetics, from silicone to socks, but nothing ever fit or felt quite right until she crafted a solution of her own. Pat made these knitted inserts called busters, and they worked so well for her, she decided to make them for other women undergoing mastectomies.
I had been waiting for years for the right retirement project to come along so I could retire. And this was perfect.
So Pat recruited some fellow master knitters, and they went to work. Together, they've knitted pairs for women around the world. Pat has made the most.
It's approaching 1,000 pairs.
That's about 8,000 hours of knitting. Pat doesn't charge for busters. Every set is free.
A personal gift from one survivor to another.
The hundreds of cards and emails from over the years are thanks enough.
Bless you and all you do. You are an angel.
She hopes her creation brings comfort.
And to help them begin to feel like normal women again and not victims. And I guess that's what I would say, you know. Remember, we're still the same people we always were.
Helping women cope with cancer, one stitch at a time. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Escondido, California.
While Pat does not ask for money for her buster, she does ask recipients if they would like to donate money to help pay the postage for the next woman who requests a pair. And she gives excess donations to a local hospital breast cancer program. If you would like to request a pair of busters, you can email Pat at thebustersproject@gmail.com. And coming up, the balloon still flew in yesterday's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, delighting spectators, but handlers had difficulty controlling some of them.
And it was a dreary Thanksgiving for some until late in the day, and that could be a similar situation for today, too. I'll track the clouds of the weekend system in about 3 minutes.